Okay guys, I just filmed the whole like 5 minutes and then I realized I forgot to put the memory card in the camera. So let's start this over. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about INFJs, which is a personality type in the Myers-Briggs personality test. So the information in that will be linked below. It's really interesting. And then I'll link down below Catarific's typology series, which explains all its different personality tests, and she goes a lot more in depth with all the different personality types. She hasn't done all of them yet, she's done only a couple, but yeah. And she explains like what each one means and stuff more in depth, so you should check her out, and she's one of my favorite YouTubers, and she's really cool, and yeah, so check out her channel. Okay, so what an INFJ is a introvert, an intuitive, feelings, and judging. Which basically means that introvert, if you don't know what an introvert is, there's like a lot of myths about introvert, like the people think that introverts don't like people and they don't like to talk to people and they don't like to be around people, which isn't true. They like to be around people, they like to talk to people, they just need some time alone. Like, being around people tires them out, like if they're with people for a long time. So they need to spend time alone to like recharge. But so like they like to be home alone. It's like extroverts would rather go to a party in the weekends. Introverts rather stay home and like read a book or something. They don't like to hang out with large groups of people. They rather just hang out with like a couple of friends. But the thing is, they do like people, and they do like talking to people. They just don't do it like all the time. And they're like, yeah, so they like introverted. Yeah, that's what introverted means. And then intuitive means that they like sense things, and they can like tell stuff about people by like watching them. That sounds scary, creepy, but yeah. This Kat goes more in depth with this stuff on her channel too, because this is just a brief overview of what INFJs are. Feelings is that they go off of their feelings rather than what they think. So like, I would like I'm an INFJ, that's why I'm making this video. So if I was put into a situation, I would just go with what I feel instead of what I'm thinking. And then judging is like the more stricter side of people, like they like to go by the rules and they like to be on time and stuff like that. Okay, so that's what a brief overview of what INFJ is. Now, INFJs are considered to be one of the rarest types of people. We make up 1.7% of the American population, I think. So yeah, we're one of the rarest personality types, and we're often really misunderstood, and people don't really get INFJs that much because they're so complicated and complex, and there's not a lot of them. So there's nothing really that you can like go off of because there's not that many people who are INFJs. So let's just like start it off with what like INFJs do a lot. INFJs really like to write. They communicate with their writing a lot. They're really bad communicators, like telling how they're feeling or what they like. They're just really bad at communicating with their words. Like their verbal words. So they write it all out. But the thing is, INFJs tend to be secretive, and like they don't like to share a lot about themselves with anybody. And they will eventually if you try to get to know that person, and it will take a while to get them to actually trust you and to have them actually talk to you about what they're feeling or like anything about them. Like, a lot of people compare INFJs to onions or whatever, like all the layers of them, you have to like keep on peeling. Yeah, so like those cheesy cliche things, yeah, that's what an INFJ is compared to as an onion. INFJs tend to be mistaken for extroverts, actually, because they have such a strong interest in getting to know people. They like INFJs really like to analyze people and like see how they're working. And since with their intuitive part and their feelings part, they like to help people, and they like to like get to know people and like figure out, like they like to like, oh, this is what this person does and this is how this person deals with things. And so they are, some people just think that they're extroverts because they talk to people to understand them. But they're introverts because they're really, really secretive. They don't like to talk to people actually like that much. They also like to take on other personality types. they mimic other types basically because they know how the other types work, and they don't really have a sense of belonging. Like INFJs are like the most like lost type. They're so different, so they don't really understand where they belong or where they fit. And I feel like they don't know, because INFJs they're like, oh, I know all this stuff about other people, but they don't really know a lot about themselves, which is one of like the big conflicts between INFJs. INFJs, they tend to get stressed out really easily, and they're not really good with dealing with their stress. But so ways that they do deal with it is they talk to people about how well they're coping with things. So they'll be like, oh, I'm so stressed out, but this is how I'm dealing with it. And when they speak it out, it kind of makes it easier on them. When they get stressed out, most of their negative aspects of INFJs tend to come out a lot. INFJs tend to be really insecure. They're either seen as really like too sensitive or unsensitive. But usually the case is that they're too sensitive. When someone criticizes an INFJ, they take it to the heart. They take it really harshly, and they especially if it's from someone they really care about and they get criticized with them, they're like, oh, I can't believe this person feels like this. And then they feel really bad about themselves because they're really insecure. And if you're dealing with an INFJ, you should give words of reassurance to make sure that they know that you care about them, that you love them, and yeah. INFJs like to reflect on themselves a lot. They're kind of seen as selfish because they're usually thinking about themselves, but they're just trying to understand themselves because they don't understand how they work. And they feel like other people are judging them because they don't know where they fit. So they're trying to always find this place where they feel like they belong. The career types that you mostly will see with INFJs are going into religion or counseling or teaching. Sometimes the arts, if they go into arts, it's usually going to be for writing, literature, poetry, lyrics. They like to express themselves through their writing, so you see that a lot. So since INFJs are so good at figuring other people out, they have a lot to say, but they don't say it because they feel like people don't want to hear what they have to say, so they keep it bottled up, and they know what they're thinking all the time, but they don't say it out loud to people. So, and if they do, people kind of think that they're kind of rude for what they're thinking or want to say. So yeah, there's that. And then there's the thing that INFJs are really they're really hard to trust people, right? So if you lie to an INFJ, they'll never trust you again. They might know, even if you don't tell them that you're lying to them, they usually know that you're lying to them, and if they do, they won't comment on it, but in the back of their mind, they'll be like, oh, I'm not going to trust this person, I can't trust this person because they're lying to me right now. Or if they find out that you lied to them, they're not going to trust you, unless you work really hard to earn their trust back. They're probably never going to trust you again and not tell you anything again. Okay, and another thing is, if you do something to an INFJ, they'll forgive you easily. But the thing is, they'll forgive you, but they'll always have in the back of the mind that you've done this. And they'll, know that you've done it, and that just puts your trust level with them just a little bit lower. Every time you do something, you're gonna keep on going lower. Pretty soon enough, they're not gonna, want to talk to you. If you do something to them, they're usually just gonna ignore it, too, or, avoid you until, they'll wait till it goes away. If it doesn't go away, then they usually just don't deal with it, and they do deal with it, it will be in a very unproductive way. That's sort of a bad thing about an INFJ. So basically, INFJs are really idealists and dreamers. They tend to live in their fantasy worlds rather than reality. They are really lost in their mind a lot. So they live in their fantasy worlds that they create. They build up these stories in their mind, and they want the world to be like this. They want peace in the world. They just want everything to be perfect. So they kind of get lost in that a lot, which is a downside. So basically, INFJs are just really complex and hard to understand, and you just have to try to understand them and get to know them if you want them to stay in your life. And if you want to understand them, you're going to have to take some time to get to know them, because they're not going to let you in right away, and you got to peel back their onion layers until until they're like, okay, you can know me now. I trust you. Yeah, basically that's what an INFJ is. There's a lot more. If you want to research it, I have the links below. So basically, that's the end of this video. Have a nice day, guys. Have a nice life. Research personality types if you're into that, if you're interested. I usually find that they're pretty accurate. People are interesting, complex creatures. It's good to understand them. It's good to understand yourself. Goodbye.